Hey guys, welcome to Unbiased Rugby. My name's Donovan. So just following up on Two Senses show where you gave a shout out to my channel. I thought I'd reciprocate and do exactly the same, and also give the kind of channels that I follow. I'm also going to do a bit of a breakdown of what I'm going to be doing in 2019. You can see I found a new place to do my recordings. I'm just going to try and mount my big Springbok flag, and I'll be able to replace the artwork behind me with the Springbok flag whenever I need to do it. But yeah, I need to ask the boss first before I can move artwork in my house. So yeah. So what I'm looking at doing is, because there's quite a few things happening this year, especially obviously the big thing being the Rugby World Cup. That's going to be, obviously everyone's going to be looking forward to that. So I'm going to probably do something maybe like once a month, or whenever there's some big news. Maybe do a road to the Rugby World Cup. Maybe looking at the top tier 1 nations and just giving a bit of a breakdown. Also, in conjunction with, obviously I'll be watching the Six Nations. I'm going to be doing a preview and review for the Six Nations and for the Rugby Championship, even though the Rugby Championship is quite a shortened competition. And then I'm also going to be doing Super Rugby. The nice thing with Super Rugby, it'll finish before Rugby Championship, but there's a little bit of an overlap between Six Nations and Super Rugby. So I may tend to do more Six Nations videos as opposed to Super Rugby, but there'll always be one video a week on Super Rugby, a minimum of one video a week. But normally it'll be a preview and a review. I'm also looking, guys, to maybe do some shorter videos, just if I see some news on Rugby Pass or on one of the rugby websites, and just give my opinion on it. I may drop my intro for most of my videos this year. I'm finding it quite difficult to get the time, because what I have to do is I record on my phone, and then I upload to my Mac, and then I piece everything together, and then so it takes a little bit of time, and my work's been suffering. So I'm going to maybe focus, or maybe be a little bit more productive with my time. So I'm probably going to drop the intro, because then I can just upload directly from my phone, and then I just have to paste a thumbnail on, and it might make my life a little bit easier. This last year I've been translating all my subjects and all of that into Afrikaans, Xhosa, and Spanish, but I'm thinking maybe I might drop that and just keep it for my bigger shows. Just do the thing. So yeah, I'm going to try to keep my shows a little bit shorter, but and drop the intro video. I like my intro video. It's been with me since my first video, so it's something I don't really want to drop my intro music. But like I said, I just want to upload from my phone, and for my bigger shows, I'll use the intro, and I'll do my editing and stuff like that. I'm also looking at. I sent a mail last year to the Bulls. Because I've really been thinking of doing a Bulls-specific kind of show. Not very often, maybe once a month or maybe once every 6 weeks. Quite like a magazine-style show, but so that's why I sent a message out to the Bulls, saying that this is what I'd like to do. And I'd like to get some like insider information, maybe get access to players, up-and-coming players, maybe have a Skype chat with a player or two, speak their tactics. So I'm talking attack and defense. I may speak to other YouTubers that I know are keen Bull supporters, and have them on and having a chat. But I'm going to have a whole section with Jacques, who he does the yellow cap, and he's very, very knowledgeable about the Bulls and SA Rugby. So it's quite specific about the Bulls. So it's pretty much a select kind of audience. But I'm going to try and increase the production value, so there's a lot of value from it. So I'm going to try to look at up and coming players that I think might go all the way up to Springboks. And then really look at the Bulls. As you know, it is my team, so that's going to be my real biased show. So it's all going to be about the Bulls, and then my rest of my shows will try to be as unbiased as I can. The other thing that I've been doing is I've been working on a rugby web app. If everyone doesn't know, I'm a programmer, so I thought, to try to speed up the process of my videos, I captured I think the last 4 or 5 years of Super Rugby home and away victories with quarterfinals and semi-finals, who won, what the scores were, where they played, and I've imported it into a database, and now I'm going to be pulling in the team logos, the team emblems, I'm gonna try and, my videos that I do that have the black screen and I have the logos and then I have the scores. So I'm trying to do it so that I can just choose the week. It pulls up the thing, and it might make the videos a little bit more interesting. I'll also be able to look at the last 4 or 5 games for that team, or maybe the last 10 games when they played away. At least I'd have 4 or 5 against that specific team, so it might make it a little bit more in depth. I'm also looking at, I've been asked a lot to talk about, to bring something a little bit more interesting into my shows. So I'm probably going to look at, I'm not going to do a team of the week. That's really done really well by 2 Cents, and I think that's brilliant, and I get to comment on those ones, and a lot of people get to comment on that, and I think that's perfect. I'm happy with that, but I'm really going to focus in on an MVP, really focus on an MVP and really just work on that one specific player for that week, and try to get as much information about that player as I possibly can, and see his past and his future, and really work that way. So quite specific about a certain player, and it might be across anything, and it'll be games that I've watched. I can only get to watch, like when Six Nations are on, I'll watch all 3 Six Nations games for that weekend, and I'll probably watch 3 or 4 Super Rugby games, and that's it. I won't be able to watch any more. And then obviously there's also Pro 14 that I watch, and there's Gallagher Premiership, and I watch a top 14 game every now and again. So I try watch a game a night. So my MVP is going to be based on the games that I've watched. It's not going to be based on the news or anything like it. So it might not be the MVP that everyone agrees, but that's what the show is all about. I really want more input, where you guys can say, listen, this is who I think is the MVP. Try pull out other YouTube videos that we can go through and really make it a little bit more interesting. So what I'm trying to do is lessen the shows, make them shorter, increase the shows, make them shorter, quicker to get online, and it might make it a little bit easier for on my work front, and be able to give the kind of content that I really want to give. And then once my web app is running, then I'll take you guys through it, and you'll see it. I'll probably also do fantasy this year again, probably only for Super Rugby, and then also for the Rugby World Cup. I know there's quite a few games that happen all at once, so I may have to speak to other YouTubers out there, and maybe split up the games between them. We'll probably all end up watching Tier 1 games, but it'd be nice to somebody gets to watch a Tier 2 game and actually does a comment on it. And I might I could probably go out to G-Man, to Driving Mall. I can speak to 2 Cents, and we try to split up those Tier 2 nations, so at least there's coverage of all the games, and I think that might be a way forward. Instead of us all trying to watch that game, we try focusing on specific game. But like I said, I haven't asked them, but it's just an idea that I'm mulling over. So I've got a list here of the YouTube channels that I mostly watch. I watch 2 Cents the most. He does have the probably the best content, consistent content out there, and the videos are normally 8 to 13 minutes. They're pretty easy to digest. He's always got good stats. And I did have a bit of jealousy with 2 Cents. 2 Cents started his channel 2 weeks before me, if you look at the dates of when the channel started. So in the beginning it was all neck and neck, and then it must have been about midway, 3/4 of the way through Super Rugby last year. Jeepers, he just started racing on ahead, and he was in the thousands and I was in the hundreds, and so then I stopped competing, and I just thought, hey, okay, his content is so good, guys, and really it's probably the best channel to go to watch. The other one is Driving Mall. Driving Mall is also very, very consistent, and he has Ashwin that comes on, and it's nice because he does live shows, and on a Monday, I think it's a Monday, he has a few channels that he works with, but I'll put the links down below, and that's super nice because you actually get to interact live. It's live streaming, and they get to answer questions there and then. So which is Driving Mall was the first channel that I subscribed to, or that I actually watched on YouTube, a rugby channel that I watched on YouTube. So I think the channel should be bigger than what it is. I honestly feel it should have a lot more, because very, very knowledgeable, and yeah, if anyone, those two channels are really up there for content wise. The other ones, obviously 1014, probably one of the better technical channels out there. Squid Rugby is just hilarious. I actually didn't really get into Squid Rugby until fairly late. It wasn't the first channel that I went to. I saw one video and I thought, it doesn't seem like for me, and then I can't remember which video I watched. I think it was on Georgia or something, and I really got hooked into Squid Rugby. And he seems to be putting in a lot more content now, which is excellent. But it's like a real different take, and the guy knows his rugby, and that's, it may be humorous and it may be a lot of things, but sure, he definitely knows his rugby. Driving more. Then there's another one that I watch, Gareth G-Man, also excellent channel, very, very inspirational. Also, but he's mainly a supporters channel. Okay, I won't hold it against him. He is a Shark supporter, but you know, we all have our crosses to bear in life. Then there's another one that no one really picks up. There's a guy in South Africa, Rugabugger, and he does really in-depth ones, specifically on schoolboy rugby. Excellent. There was the one video, it was a whole series of videos where he did the top 50 rugby schools in the world. And I have to say, obviously, Gray's College got the top spot, but it was talking about history, you know, the past 30, 40, 50 years, and how the schools have done, and it really in-depth, really a lot of research into Springbok rugby. So yeah, it's a great channel to actually, if you really want to get into schoolboy rugby, and because I really enjoy schoolboy rugby, so great channel for that. Then there's another one, the Rugby Analyst. He's up in the UK, also a great channel, very more Northern Hemisphere based. You know, a lot of the channels that I tend to follow are Southern Hemisphere based, but I've slowly been getting into the Northern Hemisphere vloggers, and some of them are really good, and he's really good. He's got extensive knowledge, he's got good comments that come through on his channel, so I'd let you guys go through it. There's another one that I follow, and I've been following it since the start of it's called the Coal Room. They've only got 25 subscribers, which is not great, but these two guys, it's Dax and, oh no, they're going to freak out because I forgot their name, but and they also talk about rugby. And the nice thing is, I think one of them is doing their PhD in concussion, specifically about rugby. So it's great to have that kind of knowledge, and they're really going to in-depth analysis of pre and post match games. And it'd be really nice if guys give them some support. I'm going to put down the link below, because they really do deserve more than 25 subscribers. And I find their channel quite entertaining, and you guys can go through it. Another thing that I'd just give a special mention out to another 3 channels. There's a guy by the name of Eckhart Stander. He's based in Pretoria, I think it's Pretoria, and also pretty good. And he gave me a shout out, so I thought I'd give him a shout out too. There's another guy, Biz Rugby, I think it's Wales. So it's very he honestly thinks that the Northern Hemisphere teams and players are the best in the world, and that's great. That's what this game's all about. And then there's another one, the Stephen Scotty Rugby Show. I think they've got about 300 subscribers, and the 2 New Zealand guys. Excellent channel, and you must see some of that. They went to some of these games, and they got almost every single New Zealand rugby player to say a shout out to the Stephen Scotty Rugby Show. Very good, good entertainment, and it's nice to actually go to a fans channel that, yeah, you can be biased towards your team, and like I'm completely biased towards my teams, but I'm not biased about the results, and I'm give credit where credit's due, and if the better team wins on the day, I'm super happy. There's no point in crying over spilt milk. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell. What I'm planning for this year, and the YouTube channels out there. I've been watching a few games online. I've been really enjoying some of the Pro 14 games. Not all of them. I watched Leinster play Munster last weekend, and I was completely shocked. I wasn't expecting Leinster to play like that. It was, the ill discipline was absolutely atrocious, and it was a little bit of a shocker, that one, because when I think of Leinster, I think of Crusaders, those kind of teams where discipline, rock solid. So yeah, I was fairly disappointed with the result, but maybe we'll see what happens this coming week in the European Championship, because I do watch quite a few of those games. Yeah, I watched that, and then I watched this last weekend. Finally, Owen Farrell got a yellow card for a high tackle. It was bound to happen, because he was skirting the edges of what was acceptable as a high tackle. So yeah, I just thought it was justice. I was hoping that it would have been justice a few games ago, but like I said, these things happen. But yeah, it was just I just looked at it and I thought, the refs are starting to notice that his tackles are a little bit high, and he needs to rein it in a little bit. But that's the perfect timing for him. I think he's an exceptional rugby player. I watch his tactical kicking, and there's very, very few players that can have that kind of tactical ability of finding the space and kicking towards it. But listen, guys, down below, please put down what you think of what would be interesting to watch this year, what we can discuss, other YouTube channels that you like, and please go subscribe and give them some support. They really do appreciate it. In YouTube, there's a few levels that you have to achieve. So to get your own name for your channel, so like my channel at the top would say Unbiased Rugby, you need 100 subscribers. So you need 100 subscribers to qualify to get your own name. So which is a nice thing. The other thing is you need 1,000 subscribers, I think, in a calendar year to qualify for advertising. So you can earn money from advertising. So if you're looking at some of the channels, it's not big money. I'm not going to become a millionaire overnight because of some advertising. I think it's been running for a month on my channel and I've only made $1. Yeah, so yeah, it's not big money at all. So, but yeah, give it a 1,000, and then at 10,000 you qualify for something else. And I've just qualified for communities things. So you just look at the channels, and if a guy's just under 100, you try to get, or a guy, lady, just get them over 100 because they get their name. Get them just to 1,000 because then they qualify for some additional features. Like I know 2 cents he's not, by the end of the year, I'm sure you'll hit 10,000, and you get extra benefits for hitting 10,000. But listen, guys, I hope you have a great week and a great weekend of rugby. There's European Championships coming up this week. I will do a preview on that. But listen, guys, I hope you have a great week. Chat soon. Bye.